Greetings and welcome to The Pitch, a solar builder side project in which we connect you straight to PV system and service providers. This is where we'll explore new ideas and chat awkwardly about their innovations so you don't have to. The pitch today, I think, is a timely one. This is the team that originally started the remote sales business of Sungevity, and they have now launched a new product called OpenSolar. It is a suite of free tools to fully digitize solar installation business from phone or remote sales to design, finance, customer relationship management. It's a pretty sweet suite of products. And here to explain it is co-founder Andrew Birchy Birch. Hey, Birchy.
Hi, thanks for the invite to join.
First, I wanted to start with the intriguing aspect of OpenSolar in that it's free. Can you, I guess, maybe just speak to how you made that possible?
Yeah, so Adam Pryor and myself, two co-founders. Adam was the guy who invented remote solar design 13 years ago. And we sold 15,000 systems remote and online at Sungevity, got a lot of experience on how to build software to do remote sales. And so Adam and I, 3 years ago, thought that we could have a big impact on the climate outcome and the industry if we built a new tool that captured all those lessons learned, created world-class software, but instead of using it just ourselves in one company, we made it available to everyone. And then we had this whack morning. We were in a shopping center in Sydney talking about revenue models, and we're both kind of geeks, and we looked at both extremes. Like, we figured we could charge a lot of money for this because it's going to be, we think, the best software in the market. And then other extreme was free, and we got really intrigued by the idea of free. And then you asked the question of how could we pay our bills? Because that would be amazing to make this free to everyone around the world, because we have 10 years to have a planet to live on from a CO2 perspective. So we came up with the idea of making it free to everyone, single app, white label, amazing software. And the revenue model is we have partnerships with the hardware folks and other partners who pay monthly fees to exhibit their product in this digital environment. So it's good for the installer as well, because they get to use all the collateral that the hardware folks would provide. And that's how we pay the bills and make it free to the installers. With COVID, that's we're really promoting this in the States now because we love the solar industry. It's been a quarter of my life. All my friends work in the solar industry in the States, and we think it's important that they can access a tool now completely for free that saves them money and lets them do really professional remote sales.
There's several very intriguing aspects of what OpenSolar is from beginning to end. And, you kind of, as part of the pitch, is that it is an end-to-end proposition from a solar design and sales perspective. So let's start at like the very beginning, that front end. Can OpenSolar be a part of generating leads or finding new customers or getting people into my sales design funnel?
It starts by having the ability on your own website, and this is us looking at the support page to show you how that form would be created. You embed the lead capture form on your own site, so you're able to drive traffic through all the sort of classic online and local marketing tactics that you can to drive traffic to your eyeballs to your own website, your own logo, your own brand, and from that capture leads digitally straight into your own branded CRM. So the approach is, if you can drive traffic efficiently in, you're getting an immediate view of who's requested a lead. You have sort of full functionality to create stages, prioritizations, allocate salespeople, capture the customer information, and then go into the project page and add more data. You can configure the actions required at any one point in the system and have them timestamped. So as you're pushing a customer through the process, you can click whether a job is done or has not been completed. You can design the system, you can add utility information, all the product information you would need. We've got a great partnership with the really great team in California, from utility API to get the energy information in. And take this all the way through to permitting with our partnership with Natron to generate the plan set. even post sale, you can do all the in-field stuff, like and even digitally get customers to send imagery to you, so you can upload files, pictures of service boxes, service entrance placements, all sorts of things that come straight into the cloud here. And then when you design a system and email it to the customer, you get notified when the customer opens it up. So there's a number of different approaches you can use in remote sales. You can click on the button in that project zone and email them the design you've sent, and they will receive a link to the proposal. You can configure this in standard or configure it per project to say what you want to say to that customer when they open it. The customer sees this lovely view of the multiple systems you've designed for their home. All of this is branded, obviously, in the local installer, the client's branding. They can decide what numbers they want to show. They can create numerous templates. They can configure if they want to show more or less of this content. But ultimately, the customer can see an email, self-educate, see what the system looks like, see what it looks like with different sizes and costs. This is the content area where our clients on the hardware side present the information. It's got nice digital content that helps customers educate online in a remote environment with videos and product explanations that they can use, in the comfort of their own home to understand, why a certain panel or battery might be better than something else.
Yeah.
All of that kind of digital collateral to educate. Then if we also have live chat now, so if you have chat enabled as an installer, you can do cool things like just put the link through so you can connect straight to them with a video link like we're doing right now. So that kind of gets through a lot of the messiness of how do we set that conversation up in a digital environment.
So basically, instead of the more traditional kind of static PDF, here's your proposal or the several different options maybe I've designed for you. This is a more interactive, like poke around. And so can the customer then, I guess, could you do both things where the customer is kind of on their own at their leisure, kind of trying to understand this, but then also you have the ability to step in or have that schedule to then walk them through it? Because I could see both being interesting.
That's exactly right. So we've seen our users are generally doing a bit of both and really kind of learning what works for them and for different clients and using all different aspects of this. So yeah, you can get a request, design a system, call or email the customer and set up an appointment and just set up a screen share in advance so that you send them this and you open it with them together and walk them through it. There's obviously benefits to that from controlling what the customer sees. And helping them live, understand the financials and what comes next. But equally, it's nice to send a very quick proposal out, let them look at it at their own leisure and offer up the scheduled chat in that or a live chat. Or you can see in the project zone when a user has viewed this. So you've got a complete history of how long they've used it, how often and when, and so you can also use that to sort of try more of a following up tactic of sales. And then the really nice thing is you can be live with the customer, and it's, OpenSolar, we designed it fresh. It's not a linear process to a PDF that you then send. So I think you're seeing a lot of tools right now with PDF-driven sales processes trying to do remote selling by showing them that online. We came at it from a different perspective. We really centered this around the digital proposal so that you can come on with a customer. And if the customer says, you know what, I'd actually, I'd quite like to, add some panels on this side of the property. Or, I'd like to add a battery to that or take a battery off one. You can do that live with the customer and then go straight back to the digital proposal. I probably won't save this one. And see that live with the customer in the digital zone. So it's a very kind of appified, we like to think, way of really engaging the customer, helping them design the system themselves and solve for their actual needs.
On the battery aspect, I know that, especially for solar installers who are maybe looking to add storage as a component of, their business, designing for storage is more difficult or more complex. So when you
Yeah.
say add a battery, is your system doing all of those complex situations too, or is it just like mainly focusing on, backup?
We were born in Australia. Like we started first in Australia before we started in the US. And in Australia, you're seeing 15%, 20% in many markets of systems now with storage because you don't have net metering. So the battery economics are actually really compelling because you've got high retail rate, low wholesale rate. So we've designed it to do all the maths on the back end for batteries. So it's not just showing the customer how nice it is to have a battery and what the benefits are. You can choose to configure the template or any individual proposal to show as much or as little data as you want. But if you choose to show them all this information, then yeah, you can walk them through battery discharging processes, seasonal, weekend, with or without batteries, what the mass looks like, including all the financials. And then in the control zone, you can basically just decide, in each template, you can decide how you want to edit your template so you can show more or less to the customer and reorient the flow of all the different content that we just looked at and really control it to how you sell and what numbers you like to show the customer. So it's completely configurable as well.
Is there piecemeal ways that someone could use OpenSolar if they wanted to?
Yeah, so you can use as much, or there's so much in this tool. Adam and the development team, I think, biased, of course, but we think they're the best in the world and certainly the most experienced in the market. And we've built this to do everything we know you need as a US solar installer. So it can do a lot of stuff, but you can choose to just use the design tool. In Studio, present your systems digitally. You can do PDF as well. So looking at an example here, you can configure your PDF in all your brand with all your image and content. So you can do all that in OpenSolar. You can configure it with all your contracts so that it speaks to your CRM contracting with your T's and C's. So you can have customers go all the way to digital signature and even credit card payments in many markets. So once you do that in the project zone, the nice thing about using one of the benefits of using the CRM to its full is it can then tie into your workflow. So in the control zone, you can also configure your workflow, and that means that when a customer signs, you can have stages set out, and it'll show you that the contract's been signed and what the status of payments are. So there are benefits to that. And also, the CRM itself, like you can do filtered reports and ranking and prioritizing. You can, assign projects, you can classify them, prioritize them, look at different stages. So it does a lot of the stuff you would want from a CRM, but you can run a separate CRM if you want.
I'm just curious, do you have, because you've obviously been, this has been live and running and rocking and rolling in Australia. So you have a lot of examples of how this has gone. Can you maybe frame it for me, whether it's an anecdote or an average of how much you shorten that end-to-end process from lead through possible closing, or maybe improve closing rates?
For sure. So I speak to that, just the experience we've seen and also just what we saw in the 10 years before. So and I'll be very transparent. So firstly, the cost, the investment of this is obviously free, and it's free forever. That's the commitment that we made to the market when we started. The cost is really just the investment of getting set up. If you configure the tool how you want it and you get your workflow set up, you get your logo and your branding, your welcome messages, your testimonials, you get your team trained and onboarded and all of this is done in the control zone. You could basically spend a couple of hours to getting it really well set up. Once you've done that, in Studio, you're designing a system in it's 10 to 15 minutes on average. So it's get a lead, design a system, get it out the door. That saves hours of time if you're doing physical face-to-face selling and design. And the design integration into this end-to-end journey saves, literally full FTEs, like employees worth of cost. Now, obviously, most likely that means you can sell twice as much, not half your employees. But we've had amazing testimonials from an experience in Australia, now also in the States, of folk who are selling, 20, 30% more from just the conversions from a really slick proposal and capturing people quickly in the process, and saving thousands of dollars of expenses per month on OpEx because they're more effective and more efficient. And then, of course, saving up to $3,000 a user on software before you even think about getting off some of the other paid CRMs that some folks use.
On the design side, on this, what we're looking at right now, where are we getting images from, and are there like partnerships you have in place to, um, I guess, like a near map, for example? I think they're a part of what you offer. Um,
Yeah, exactly. So the partnership model, which is, we think it's on top of the software value. I think it's really, really valuable to provide to every size of solar installer the toolkit of a scaled business. So what that means is that in the OpenSolar product, you can choose to upgrade to near map on OpenSolar, which has these very beautiful oblique images. And we're launching some really exciting, and there's videos online you can maybe show a link to in this if possible, that shows you how you can do 3D designs in a 3D environment using digital surface map data, and then show the customer the proposal in high res digital images that Nearmap are really the world leaders in. So you can partner through OpenSolar to get access to all these kinds of tools. I mentioned the partnership with utility API, so you can automatically get the utility usage data in, which is also interval data, which I think we're the only people to have integrated, which is important for battery calculations and really accurate financial estimates. And we've also got Natron. So in the project zone, when you've sold the customer and you've finished the design, we've got a nice interface with Natron, so you can choose to have that project delivered to you at what we think is the lowest cost in the market through that partnership to generate your plan set. And then with all the hardware content, we're adding now lots of partners, we think, over the next few weeks and months to have more of that digital content in the My Energy zone, so that you can show customers the nice videos and branded collateral, which helps you sell more. So we're really about, partnering with all the best, highest quality people in the industry, so that you can sell more effectively and save as much cost as possible.
so I guess my last question then, after we've kind of gone from beginning to end here and poked around, what doesn't OpenSolar do? I mean, there's got to be. Is there anything that I haven't asked you yet, or something that maybe you're even still working on, or
Yeah, what we've just announced to the market is we're launching this quarter what we call OpenSolar 3D, and that will allow you to model these systems not just using obliques and top-down images, but using this virtual world experience. And you can be with a customer live, screen sharing on the phone, looking at this virtual world experience of their home, paint panels on, automatically get the exact angle right, have automatic shading calculations, which, to your question, is the piece that isn't live today in OpenSolar that we're delivering very soon. And that will do automatic panel level shading and a really nice customer experience that you can then present to users in these beautiful high res images if you're a Nearmap user. And you can show customers live over the phone and online what it looks like and what it feels like to the customer, which is very engaging, which helps conversions and sales.
well, very cool. Thanks for walking us through it in the pitch today, Birchy.
Yeah, not at all. It's to put one last piece in the pitch. It's all about digitizing your business today to survive COVID, but also to reduce costs, to increase your scalability. We also need to digitize permitting, which the industry is doing through the Solar App Consortium, which OpenSolar started 2 years ago and is now just going live with the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. So if we can digitize our companies, digitize permitting, solar costs $1.30 in Australia for residential, and it's at 20% penetration. So for the US community, that's what we've got to do. We've got to get costs down, scale up to 20% penetration in the next few years.
Yeah. No arguments here. All right, well, awesome. So thanks to Birchy, and thanks to all of you for checking out the video today. We'll have more of these remote product snapshots coming your way, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to keep tabs. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Read us the old-fashioned way at solarbuildermag.com, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But anyway, thanks for checking us out today. Until next time.